I'd like to understand your reasoning for not pursuing the 5-year degree out of the university and
Right.
taking a huge risk by going the route of volleyball, because it seems as though you gave up monetary and life security for a spiritual journey, for lack of a better term.
Right. Yeah, I mean, for me, and this is just something that I always told myself, is that because I was so connected through sports throughout my whole life, I've always been connected to sport. And volleyball was kind of the pathway that allowed me to continue in that sport. I always told myself, well, if I have an opportunity right now to play volleyball at the age of, I think I was 19 when I first started up again, and let's say I go till I'm 30, I can always go back and obtain a degree later on, is what I told myself. And I think, actually in university, I took a class and there was an 86-year-old man that was like a retired individual who was he just wanted to learn more about history. And so I always respected him because, he could sit at home and just, um, go about his daily life of carefreeness and just be settled, I guess. But he decided to choose to continue to learn. And so I always thought if I ever had the opportunity to play sport when I was young, I would do it, because it's not like I could go and try to walk onto a college team when I'm even 30, 40, 50, right? Like, I don't think my body would handle it. My
I was
body's
going to say,
still struggling
well,
with it right now.
well, you could try. We're not sure how long you'll
Yeah,
last.
exactly. And like how much growth I could have in that, right?
Mhm.
And so I figured this was the time to do it, if there was going to be a time, because I don't know. I think some opportunities only pass by way or pass you. How's that saying go? Come like they only happen once in a lifetime, right?
Mhm.
There's only like there's only a certain amount of time in which you have to kind of go through these opportunities. So for me, it was really simple, as hard as that sounds. And it's not like I didn't battle. Like, am I doing the right thing? What does my family think? Is my mom supporting me? But deep down, she's like, man, I really could, I need some help. Our bills piling up. And that's why I always tried to really, really work at my academics on top of my athletic scholarships, because if I could try to go to university for as little money as possible and I could supplement that with playing volleyball, anybody that thought this was, kind of financially draining, I could just justify that in my mind. Well, at least I'm going to school for almost free, right? At least I'm
Mhm.
going to school for like a reduced price, because, um, I'm not being lazy with my academic work. So yeah, I don't know. It definitely is tough, and there are definitely moments in life where you think, well, man, I'm just doing the wrong thing, or this is not what I'm meant to be doing. But um, I don't know. Then there's moments throughout the whole journey that you're just reminded of yourself that, yeah, this is what you're kind of meant to do.
How do you deal with that? That sounds like a relationship with yourself, but also with someone else, where relationships will ebb and flow and you'll like each other
Right.
more depending on the time and the circumstance. But occasionally
Right.
there's the light that you experience within the darkness,
Hmm.
where you realize
Hmm.
that you do want to be there at that time. And I would like to know how you deal with that psychologically, where you
Yeah.
understand that the person or yourself, that there are other options. And
Right.
something that I've found consistent through the resilience research is the benefit of a two-parent household.
Right.
And so
Oh,
there's
very cool.
something, yeah, it's unbelievable, actually.
Hmm.
It's absolutely insane, and it makes a lot of sense. And it seems like an institution that's been a social norm for millennia,
For
for a
sure.
very,
Yeah.
very long time, and we've only recently started to break out of it. And I think we're starting to understand why it's a social norm. I actually watched there was a little there was a clip of a podcast that I had seen a while ago where people were talking about the reasons for marriage, and they said that outside of the social constraint or the social taboo of not being married, there's not really a reason to be married. And that makes a lot of sense if you don't look into the literature at all, because you would assume I don't need a piece of paper to tell someone that I love them.
Right, right.
But something that I really liked from Carl Jung was that marriage is a way to chain yourself to someone else, so that you actually have to figure
Mhm.
out how to live with them, instead of moving from one fundamentally flawed but uh, sufficient enough at the moment person to the next fundamentally flawed but sufficient enough person at the moment. And
Right.
Freud actually,
Very cool.
yeah, Freud talks a lot about, there was a book he wrote called Civilization and Its Discontents. And in that he talked about eros, which is the Greek concept of love. And it boils more down to creation and a platonic love than a romantic love. And a part of that was that eros and the creation of the child is something that bonds two people together to such an extent that the child actually supersedes the love between the two people, and the love experience for the
Very cool.
child is something that chains the two people to each other because of the inherent benefit from having both parents. And so,
Wow.
anyways, how do you experience that relationship with yourself, where it's something that you want to do, where you feel as though there's something potentially more out there, or you're not on the right path, that everyone has self-doubts, everyone questions themselves, and
Right.
how do you reify your decision to be where you are?
Yeah. So for me, it's always been um, like my ultimate goal. I think my ultimate goal in life is different than my athletic goal. So my ultimate goal in life is to always take care of the ones that love me, specifically my family, specifically my mom. You can break it down that way. So to be honest, if volleyball ever got in the way of me being able to take care of my family, I would quit because at the end of the day, um, you know, those people are going to be with you for the longevity of your life. Whereas volleyball, at least from a playing standpoint, is only going to be with you, at least in my life, maybe 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, if they're supportive of that and they accept that you're kind of on this journey, I set this goal that my ultimate goal with volleyball is to go play professional volleyball. I've kind of stated that as my goal for quite some time. And it's a very scary goal, especially as a libero, and people have to kind of be around the sport to understand like why it's so daunting. But so for me, that end goal continues to make me drive within the sport. And so while there are times in which, like, I loved playing for Lethbridge College, it was awesome. I was super, super comfortable. Um, like they put me on a bus in the city. So it was like, I don't know, I felt like a small town rock star. You know what I mean? Like, it was awesome. I was super, super comfortable.
Oh, you're on the
But
outside of
then,
the bus.
yeah, on the outside of the bus, yeah. So like driving down my neighborhood, and then like there's Prim. Like that's super cool. My nan would like wait outside her window, hoping that the bus would go by. That's cool. That's
That's so
awesome, right?
fun. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's so fun. And um, but then after that provincials, where some universities started to contact me, you have to make a decision, right? Do you stay in that comfortability zone, or do you venture off 7 hours away from home in freezing cold Saskatoon to try to grow your athletic skill? And I left because I thought that's what I needed to do to grow, not only as an athlete but as a human, or as a man for sure. And yeah, I mean that was kind of my decision, my choice, to just keep trusting the process, as cliche as that might sound as well, right? Like there's going to be times where even in your normal life, right, you might not even be in sports, but it might be in your educational studies, or it might be just within your own family unit, that you guys are going to go through some tough times. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? But you have to continue to trust the process to keep working towards that end goal. And so the end goal of me playing pro has always been there. So that's why I continue to go back every year and beat up my body. So that's what my end goal was, right? To try to get out there. So
Mhm.
yeah.